You know, when I'm throwing on a great big, you know, expansive mat like this, or, you know, these are actually little dollar pads, but it's making a mat, you know, I want a longer and a power up rod for a few things. You know, first of all, casting distance, being able to throw it further, and then hooking a fish and pulling them out, you know, having that leverage to pull them out. And that's where that extra power up is, because most of the time I'm going to hook the fish further away from me. You know, with that 7.3, that HFX 7.3 medium heavy that I'm throwing, it's more target, you know, 20 feet away from me, you know, maybe 10 feet away from me, you know, just short, smaller cast, you know, shorter cast. And I don't need that, you know, that 6 power to jack them. So I just, you know, I need that 4 or 5 power just to hook them and get them out of a short amount of mats, and then I can just reel them in, you know. On a snag-proof fat frog. Both hooks, both of them penetrated. Good little fish. That's the difference, is the casting accuracy or distance, and then just the power to pull them way away and get hook penetration, or not pull too hard when they're close to you. The things that I'm looking for in a frog: number one, hook. You know, the right, you know, not just the right hook, you know, a few different things about it. You know, the right angle of the hook for hook, you know, penetration in a fish's mouth, and at the same time staying weedless. And then, you know, a good stout hook where I'm not bending it out, you know, I'm not pulling it out of their mouths, anything like that. That's first and foremost in a frog for me, is the hook and the hook angle. And then just, you know, I like a frog that's soft to compress when that fish eats it, but at the same time not too soft where you're just getting hung up constantly on pads or mats or your hooks or anything like that. You know, you want that middle, you know, that kind of soft but not too soft, and you don't want it rock hard either, you know. So those are just some of the things that I personally look for in a frog, is, you know, the hook, you know, the body, and the ease of walking that frog. One of the things about these big, you know, expansive mats like this is just being patient more than anything, you know. Just like this one, I pulled up, I made 25 casts, never had a bite, and then got bit, and I've caught, you know, 4 or 5 in the last, you know, 10 minutes. You know, first of all, noise. You know, you might come into a mat like this and you might spook them for, you know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is, you know. And, you know, those fish might take a minute to relocate themselves, but, you know, you literally have to just, you know, I put my Minn Kota Raptors down and just sit on a spot and make cast after cast after cast. There's so many little holes and edges in the grass, and, you know, little lanes in the pad stems that, man, if you miss a fish by a couple feet, you're not going to catch them. Well, if you don't like that, you know, I don't know what you're doing in life. That one ate a snag-proof Bobby's Perfect Frog in a really thick mat, throwing black and blue. Beautiful bass right there. But, you know, you saw me in some of these more sparse mats, and I was throwing that Halo HFX 7.3 medium heavy because they're a little sparse. You don't have a lot to pull them out. You just saw there, I pulled that fish out of 40 foot of, you know, little dollar pads, mats, and hydrilla. So I'm throwing that Halo KS2 Elite 7.9 extra heavy. You know, you just need a little bit more leverage, a little bit more length and power to pull that fish out of that thick mat. And I really like that Bobby's Perfect Frog and that thicker stuff. The hook's just a little bit beefier than that fat frog, and, you know, you can pull a little bit harder. You know, 65-pound braid, high-speed reel, let them eat it, and yank them in. There's nothing funner than that right there, that's for sure.